Hello beautiful people, how are you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing amazing. Welcome back to another lesson of English with Ashish. Guys, this is a very important topic. Today we are going to talk about, we are going to learn, we are going to master a very important topic in English, conditional sentences. It's a very important topic, guys. It's going to help you step up your game in English, right? So make sure you watch it till the end. I'm going to make it extremely easy for you. All right, let's do it now. So guys, we have four types of conditional sentences in English. Zero conditional sentences, first conditional sentences, second conditional sentences, and third conditional sentences. Each of these conditional sentences have specific usage, right? And we will talk about them individually, right? Let us start with the first one, zero conditional sentence. So guys, we use zero conditional sentences to talk about things that are facts, that are always gonna be true. Now let us talk about how to form a zero conditional sentence. What is the structure? So we have two clauses in a zero conditional sentence. First, the if clause, the condition, and then the result of the condition, the outcome of the condition. Look at the structure. If clause and the result clause. And guys, both these clauses are in simple present tense. It simply means if this happens, that happens. If this happens, that is always going to happen. That's a fact. That's always true, right? Let us take some examples and understand this better. Example number one, if ice melts, it becomes water. If ice melts, it becomes water. If clause, the condition, if this happens, if ice melts. If ice melts, right? This is a present simple tense. If ice melts, it becomes water. That is also a present simple tense. First, the condition, if this happens, if ice melts, it becomes water. That is the outcome, that is the result. And it's always going to happen. Whether it's you or me or somebody else, it is always going to happen. It's true for everybody. Second example, if the sun goes down, it gets dark. If the sun goes down, the condition, if this happens, present simple tense, it gets dark, present simple tense, the result of the condition, the outcome of the condition, right? And it's always going to happen. When the sun goes down, it gets dark. It gets dark for me, it gets dark for you, it gets dark for everybody. That is a universal fact. Next example. If snakes are scared, they bite. The condition, if snakes are scared, the outcome, they bite. And it's always true. It's always going to happen. That's a fact. If snakes are scared, they bite. They just do. Next example. If you don't eat food, you get hungry. In this condition, this happens. When you don't eat food, you get hungry. Alright, now we can also reverse the order of these clauses without changing the meaning. We can do that. We can put the outcome clause first and then the condition. We can do that. Examples. It gets dark if the sun goes down. Snakes bite if they are scared. You get hungry if you don't eat food. Right? We can do that. Let me also tell you one interesting thing. We can use when in place of if. We can use when in place of if without changing the meaning. We do it all the time. Let me show you some examples. When ice melts, it becomes water. If ice melts, it becomes water. When ice melts, it becomes water. One and the same thing. Both the sentences give the same meaning. When the sun goes down, it gets dark. When snakes are scared, they bite. When you don't eat food, you get hungry. You can also reverse the order of these clauses too, right? Ice becomes water when it melts. It gets dark when the sun goes down. Snakes bite when they're scared. You get hungry when you don't eat, right? So that's one way to use it to talk about things that are facts that are always going to be true. Now, we can also use zero conditional to talk about things that are true for you, not for the universe, but for you. Examples. He does not talk to anyone when he gets angry or if he gets angry. If I get bored, I talk to my favorite people. If I get bored, condition, if this happens, something happens. What is that? I talk to my favorite people. I do. And that is true for me, right? Whenever I get bored, if I get bored, I talk to my favorite people. Condition, Result. She gets sick when she eats chicken. She gets sick. Result. When does it happen? If she eats chicken or when she eats chicken. Guys, we also use zero conditional sentences to give instructions or make a request or make an order using imperative sentences in the main clause, in the result clause, right? Let me show you some examples. If she calls back, tell her to come to office and meet me. If this happens, what is that? If she calls back, if this is the condition, tell her to come to office and meet me. Do this, that's an order. Tell her to come to office and meet me. And you can see in the main clause, in the result clause, we don't have a subject because it is an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence, guys, has an implied subject, which is you. You tell her to come to office and meet me. If he threatens you again, call me immediately. If this happens, if this condition occurs, if he threatens you again, call me immediately. And the subject of this clause is you. You call me immediately. Leave the class if you do not want to study. Outcome, the result, leave the class. You leave the class if you don't want to study. If you need any financial help, please contact me. If this is the condition, if you need any financial help, please contact me. That's a request. So that's also how we use zero conditional sentences. Alright guys, now let us talk about type 1 conditional sentences. When do we use type 1 conditional sentences? We use these types of sentences when we want to talk about real or possible situations, right? Situations that can happen, that are real, are possible to take place. And the structure in these sentences is if clause, if plus simple present tense, right? And the result is in simple future tense. So it basically means if this happens, which is possible to happen, which can happen, this will happen in the future. Alright, let me show you some examples and make you understand. If it rains, we will not go outside. If it rains, so I'm assuming it's gonna rain, right? I have this feeling it's gonna rain. And if it rains, this is gonna happen. This is the result of this condition. If it rains, which I feel is going to happen, we will not go outside. Okay? If you don't apologize, I will never talk to you again. If you don't apologize, I will never talk to you again. If this happens, that will happen. If you don't apologize, I will never talk to you again. And that's a real possible situation. There are chances you might not apologize. And if you do that, that is going to happen. The result will happen. I will not talk to you. Right? If I get the offer letter or job letter, I will give you a party. If I get the offer letter, I will give you a party. And I can see an offer letter coming. I can feel it, right? I know it's going to happen. I am waiting for one. So I know this can happen. And if this happens, I will give you a party. If I get the offer letter, I will give you a party. She will marry me if I propose her. She will marry me. Condition, if I propose her. If I propose her, she will marry me. Real situation, but is it gonna happen 100%? We don't know. But is it possible? Yes, it is. If you don't perform well, the company will throw you out. If you don't perform well, if this happens, the company will throw you out. That will happen. And it is possible that you don't perform well. So this condition is possible and the outcome is also possible. The company will throw you out. But is it going to happen 100%? No one can say that, right? But we're talking about real situations in the future. If this happens, that will happen. Alright? We can also use some modal auxiliary verbs to talk about different possibility of the outcome. We can use may, might and can. If it rains, we may not go outside. We will not go outside. 100% sure this is not going to happen. We may not go outside. It may happen, it may not sure. So the possibility of this event goes down a bit, right? If you don't apologize, I might never talk to you. I will not talk to you again. I might not talk to you again. Will not, certain. Might not, 50-50. I might do it, I might not do it, right? If you are hungry, you can eat my lunch. Giving you the permission to eat my lunch. If you are hungry, you can eat my lunch. So guys, that's what type 1 conditional sentences are. We use them to talk about real and possible situations in the future. Okay? So what is the difference between a zero conditional sentence and a first conditional sentence? What is the difference? Guys, a zero conditional sentence refers to the result of a condition that is always true, like a fact, right? But when we talk about type 1 conditional sentences, first conditional sentences, right? We use them when the result of a condition is real or possible. But it's not a fact, right? It's possible. It can happen in the future. But it's not a fact. It might or might not be true. Look at these two examples. If you heat the ice, it melts. If you heat the ice, if this happens, it melts, right? It is always true, 100% true. You do it, I do it, anybody does it. This is going to fall true every single time. Zero conditional. If I pass the exam, I will give you a party. If I pass the exam, can I do that? Yes, I can. It's a possible situation. It's a real situation. Is it gonna happen? Maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know that. But it's a possible situation. If it happens, I will give you a party. So that is the difference between zero conditional sentences and type 1 conditional sentences. Now let me check your understanding, right? Find out the zero and type 1 conditional sentences from these, right? And write in the comment section below. Alright guys, now let us move to the next type of conditional sentence, which is the second conditional sentence. So guys, there are two ways to use second conditional sentences. There is a minor difference. Alright, let me make you understand. The first way to use second conditional sentences are to talk about situations that are imaginary, that are not going to happen, and their results. Right? To talk about situations that are imaginary, unlikely to happen, and their results. Okay, that is the first way to use it. Second way to use second conditional sentences are to talk about imaginary situations, absolutely imaginary, unreal situations that absolutely 100% cannot be true, and their outcomes and their results in present or future. All right, there's a very minor difference. With examples, we'll understand this. Let's take the examples of first type. So before we look at the examples, look at the structure. So in a second conditional sentence, we have if clause first, right, followed by the outcome. It can be reversed. We can have the outcome first, then the if clause. All right. If clause followed by the outcome. And the if clause, guys, is in simple past tense. If plus simple past tense. And the outcome is subject plus would plus first form of the verb, right? So if plus simple past tense refers to the imaginary situation. Guys, past tense refers to completed actions, right? But using if creates an imagination of the completion of the action. Now let us look at these examples. If she loved me, I would marry her. If she loved me, I would marry her. This is an imaginary situation. I know for a fact she does not love me. So I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking something that is absolutely contrary to the reality. That is absolutely opposite to the reality. She does not love me. I know this, but I'm thinking about something. I'm just imagining something that is not true. If she loved me, I would marry her. That is the outcome of the condition. If she loved me, I would marry her. But please understand, she could love me. It is not impossible to happen. This is very unlikely to happen, but this can happen. It is not impossible to happen. This is very unlikely to happen. We know that, but this is not impossible. I know she does not love me, and it's very unlikely to happen as well, but it can happen as an event, right? Second example. If I had a lot of money, I would buy you a car. If I had a lot of money, something would happen. If this was the case, something would happen. If I had a lot of money, I would buy you a car. I know I don't have a lot of money, so I cannot buy you a car. So I'm just imagining something, right? We all think like that, right? Sometimes we think, if this was the case, I would do this. Now I'm thinking, if I had a lot of money, I would buy you a car. I know for a fact I don't have a lot of money. I am broke, right? And I cannot buy you a car. So I'm just imagining, all right? If I had a lot of money, I would buy you a car. Next example. If he won a lottery, he would go on a world tour. If he won a lottery, he hasn't won a lottery and is not going to win a lottery at all. He knows this, right? But he's just imagining, right? Thinking about something which is very unlikely to happen, absolutely contrary to the reality, right? But he's thinking about that. He's not going on a world tour. He doesn't have the money, right? He's just imagining. Next example. You would get a job if you studied well. Now, I know you don't study well, and I know you are not going to get a job. I know this, I know you. You don't study, you just play video games all the time. So I know you don't study for a fact and you're not going to get a job, right? So I'm just imagining something that is absolutely contrary to the reality, right? This is not going to happen. So I'm just imagining a condition that is unlikely to happen. You are not going to study, I know this, right? And you're not going to get a job. Now guys, let me also tell you one important thing. We can also use other modal auxiliary verbs to talk about the certainty of the result. We can use could or may or might. For example, you could get the job if you studied well, or you might get the job if you studied well. You may get the job if you studied well. So using these modal auxiliary verbs changes the certainty of the result, right? So that's one way to use it to talk about a situation that is imaginary, that is unlikely to happen, but not impossible. Now we're going to talk about situations that are impossible to happen and their results. Let me show you some examples. If I were a lion, I would eat you alive. If I were a lion, I would eat you alive. If this was the case. Now, you know it, I know it, I cannot be a lion, even if I want to. Even if you want me to become a lion, I cannot do that. I cannot become a lion. That is simply impossible. That is simply a hypothetical situation. And that is exactly why we are using were. So even with singular subjects like he, she, it, and I, we use were in subjective mood. When the situation is absolutely imaginary, unreal, and cannot be possible, cannot be happening. Alright, if I were a lion, I cannot be a lion. There is no chance of me becoming a lion. That is why we're using were here. If I were a lion, I would eat you alive. More examples. If he were you, he would not break up with that girl. If he were you. Now, can he be you? He cannot be you. And that is exactly why we're using were here. If he were you, condition, if that happened, if he were you, he would not break up with that girl. He would not do something. What is that? Break up with that girl. Next example. If I were your father, I would beat you daily and stop feeding you. If I were your father. Now you're my friend and I cannot be your father even if I want to. So again, it's a hypothetical situation and that is why we're using were with the condition. If I were your father, condition, what would happen? I would beat you daily and stop feeding you. Just an imagination. I'm not your father. I'm your friend. I cannot be your father. Next example. If she was in my city, I would meet her. If she was in my city, I would meet her. Now, why have I used was here? Because this is not an impossible case. She can be in my city, right? I might not be aware of that. It is not absolutely impossible for her to be in my city. It can happen, and that is exactly why we're using was, because this case is not impossible, absolutely hypothetical or unreal, right? And that's why we're using was with it. If she was in my city, condition, I would meet her. So what is the difference between first conditional sentence and second conditional sentence? Guys, the only difference between a first conditional sentence and a second conditional sentence is that the second conditional sentence refers to a condition that is impossible or unlikely to happen and its result, and the first conditional sentence refers to a condition that is possible, that is likely to happen, and its possible outcome, right? Let me show you some examples. If she proposes me, I will say yes. If she proposed me, I would say yes. Now, what is the difference, guys? First conditional sentence, if she proposes me, I will say yes. Here, I am expecting her to propose me. It's a real situation. There are real chances, right? This can happen. In the second conditional sentence, if she proposed me, I would say yes. Buddy, I know she's not going to propose me. I know her. She loves somebody else. There is no chance. So I know nothing is going to happen, right? So I'm just assuming something. I'm just imagining something that is not going to happen. I know she won't propose me. So I'm just imagining. If she proposed me, I would say yes, right? You can look at one more example. If he studies hard, he will pass the exam. If he studied hard, he would pass the exam. If he studies hard, he's gonna do it. There are chances he's gonna do it. If he studied hard, he's not gonna do it. I know him. He's not going to study hard. So that is just an imagination. It is not gonna happen. If he studies hard, yes, that's a real situation. He is going to study hard. And if he does, he will pass the exam. There are good chances, right? So that is the difference between a first conditional sentence and a second conditional sentence. Now let us talk about the last type of a conditional sentence, third conditional sentence. So guys, we use type 3 conditional sentences to talk about things, to talk about imaginary things in the past and their results and their outcomes, that too in the past. Okay, so that is the structure. If clause, and if clause is in past perfect tense. And the outcome has a subject followed by would plus have plus past participle. Subject, would, have, past participle. Alright? It basically means if this had happened, that would have happened. Alright? With examples, we'll understand this. If she had studied hard, she would have cleared the exam. The condition, if she had studied hard, something would have happened. What is that? She would have cleared the exam. Now, none of these things happened in reality. She did not study well and she did not clear the exam. That is the reality. So we're just trying to go and imagine something that did not happen. If she had studied hard, imagination, a condition, she would have cleared the exam, and we know that did not happen. It's actually opposite to what happened in the reality. Next example. He would have died if he had continued drinking. He would have died, outcome, right? He would have died if he had continued drinking. If he had continued drinking, past perfect tense. So we're just thinking about an unreal situation, an unreal condition and an unreal outcome. We know he did not die and he left drinking. So we're just trying to think the opposite, right? He would have died if he had continued drinking. Next example. If I hadn't faced my fears, I would have been a different person. So the condition is a negative condition. If I had not faced my fears, condition, this would have been the outcome. I would have been a different person. And here, been is a main verb, guys. Past participle of the verb be. Next example. If he had left his home on time, he wouldn't have gotten late. If he had left his home on time, condition, he would not have gotten late. So the outcome is a negative sentence. And guys, we can also use some other modal auxiliary verbs to talk about different possibilities of the outcome. So we can use might, may, or could. For example, if she had studied hard, she could have cleared the exam. She might have cleared the exam. She may have cleared the exam. So all these different modal auxiliary verbs show different possibilities of the outcomes, right? So that's how we make type 3 conditional sentences. That's how we use it. So I'm pretty sure you've understood all these types of conditional sentences. Now let us check your understanding. So guys, on your screen are some sentences, and these are an amalgamation of all the conditional sentences we just learned today, right? What you guys have to do is you guys have to find out what type of conditional sentence each one is and write in the comment section below. So I hope you've done it correctly. I'm pretty sure you have. Okay, so that was about today's lesson, guys. I am pretty sure you've understood everything. If you have any doubts, any confusions, do let me know in the comment section below. It's very important to practice these sentences, guys, right? I just helped you understand all these types of conditional sentences to be able to use them in your writing, to be able to speak them in your spoken English. You have to use them, you have to practice, right? So make sure you practice enough, you write a lot of conditional sentences, you use them in your spoken English. That is going to make sure that you master them, you actually master them. Alright, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed to it yet, make sure you do it and press the bell icon, and I'll see you very soon. Till then, keep learning, have fun, be safe. I love you all.